Hey friends, welcome to TechHarvesting. In today's video, we're going to have a look at how we can fetch data from an API in a React application. So in this video, we will be using some hooks also. We'll be using the use state hook and use effect hook, and we'll be using the JSON placeholder API to fetch data. So it's a very simple topic, but sometimes people find it a bit confusing, mainly beginners. So I thought I'll just make this video. So before we start, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. So to get started, I have created this project. It's just a simple React app created with the create React app utility. I just ran the command npx create react app dot, so it created it in the current folder, which is this one that I created called React requests. And after that, it did a bit of cleaning up. So I deleted a few files, removed the imports, and now we're just left with two files, an app.js and index.js. So for doing this, we will be using a library called Axios and also an API called the JSON placeholder API. This is just like a free API that we can use to get some dummy data, which is not real. For example, I'll just show you. If I go to jasonplaceholder.typico.com/posts and hit enter, you'll see that I'm getting all these posts. So all these are dummy data, it's not real, but that's the use of this API. So from our front end, we can fetch the data and we can display them in some kind of component. So it's very simple, and for that, as I told, we'll be using Axios. So open up your terminal and you're going to install Axios now. So for doing that, you can run the command yarn add Axios, or if you're using npm, you can do npm install Axios. So just run the command, and it might take a few seconds to install, but it won't take much time. So once it's installed, you can go to the top and import Axios from Axios. Just fix the typo. And if you have not used Axios before, it's just a library which helps us to create requests. It can be GET requests, POST requests, any types of API requests with this library. So we can also use the fetch API, which is built into JavaScript. It's completely up to you, but for this tutorial, I'm going to use Axios because it has more features and it's very easy to use too. So once we have installed the library, we can import it and we can call it as a function. So first, let's create a new function called fetch posts or something. So fetch const fetch posts equals, and this is a promise based library, so you'll need to use async await. So for that, I'm gonna create a new asynchronous function. So async, and then it's an arrow function, and in here we're going to use Axios to get data from the API. So for that, we can do const response is equal to await Axios dot get. You can use this function, or we can just use this Axios function. Anything works. And then you can keep in quotes and you can give the URL to the JSON placeholder API, which is, as I showed you before, jasonplaceholder.typico.com/posts is what we're going to use. So you can just copy that and paste that in here. Just collapse that. So you can, as you can see here, we're just fetching the response. We are awaiting Axios to get data from that endpoint. And then we can get the data. This is just the response. It gives us all the information about the response. And if we want to get the data from the response, we're going to use the response.data object. So I'm going to log it for now. So console.log response.data. Okay, so that's going to be logging the data of the response. So what we saw right now as the response with a bunch of posts, that's what we're going to be getting when we log this. So now we just need to call it. So just for testing, I'm just going to import the use effect hook. If you don't know, it's just a hook that's available in React. So effect from React, and you can just do a use effect and create a normal function. And you can just, for example, run fetch posts, and we can pass in an empty array. So what this does is when the component gets rendered or when it's like shown on the page, it's gonna go ahead and run this function. So it's very simple. It's just gonna do that. And let's head back here. So we can see that if you right click on our website and hit inspect to bring up the developer tools and go to the console, you'll see that this array of 100 items. If you expand that, you'll see all these things. So these are all the things that we got from the API. So if you go here, it's the same information. So if you were to look down, you can see all these, and the same thing is here. You can see there are 100 items, 99 actually, but it's the first item is index 0, that's why. So if you go to the end, you can see user ID 10, ID 100. So everything is fetched from the API and displayed here, but it's in the console. So if you want to display here, for example, we want to map through the array and display everything here, then we'll need to write some code for that too. So in here, we can go ahead and use some state to set the posts. So you can use the use state hook from React. And if you don't know what use state is, it's also another hook in React, which helps us to store some value and get a function which we can use to change the value. So we can click here and do const posts set posts equals use state, and for first we can keep it as an empty object, okay? And then instead of logging this thing in here, we can just do a set posts as the response.data. So I'll just make it set posts. So what this will do is when we get the data, it'll just set this posts object, so this post object in here with that function to the value that we get from the response. And in here what we need to do is I can remove that, and we can do a posts dot map. And so for each post we want to display something, so we can go like that, post comma ID, and then we can go like that and return something. So in here maybe we can return h1, and in there we can give the post dot title, I think. So if you don't know what you can do, you can just go back here and you can see it has a title object. So in there, that will be fed in there. So let's see what's wrong here. Post is not defined. So that'll just change, don't worry. So because the post is in here, so you can just change that here. And this ID is very important in React. It's called a key. So in here for this h1, you can give a key equals and give the ID. So it's something that helps React to do something in the back end. So we don't have to worry about that. The only thing is that you give this ID in here while taking it as a second parameter. So you can see all these things here. So all these are the titles of different posts that we fetch from the API. So that was it. It's over. We got the data from our API and displayed it in a React H1 component. Of course, you could switch it out for any other component that you create and do stuff with that, but let's keep it simple today. That was it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.